Hey everyone, thanks for joining in. My name is Misak, episode is from Media, and this is part 2 for creating a node that will give you your favorite Wrangle nodes. So if you haven't seen part 1, I recommend checking it. And we're going to continue where we left off. Now I want to make add V and add P scale buttons. So I'm just going to delete all of this stuff. And let's go to type properties. All right, so before creating a button, I want to add a folder and add all of these buttons under it so it will look fancier. Let's just call it quick wrangles, like so, and hit apply. Yeah, so we have this. I want to change it to simple. So yeah, it's like a title. And now I'm gonna add the button. I'm just gonna call it add V and hit apply. All right, now I'm gonna go to scripts, and here we have to define another function which will be executed when we hit this add V. So I'm just gonna call it create V. And the structure is the same from above. So I'm gonna copy these two lines. So first line is creating the attribute Wrangle node. I'm just gonna rename it to V node and also rename it from here. And the second line is to change the Vex code inside attribute Wrangle. So this is what I want to change right now. I will set it to a vector value, which eventually will give us the direction of velocity, and then multiply it by a float value. So for float value, I will type in channel float, remember singular quotations, and call it scale. And for our vector value, I will create 3 channel floats. So first one name is X, second one is Y, and third one is Z. But later we're gonna change these names because this won't work, and I will show you how. All right, so next step is to create a vector parameter for this part and a float parameter for this. So I'm gonna copy all we had in here. Remember, this is for creating display parameters. And first I'm gonna just create our vector value. I'm gonna call it direction. And since I have changed it in here, I have to change it in here as well. And also, don't forget to change the node name. My node name in create V is V node. So I think everything else is okay. All right, so for creating a vector value with 3 components, we have to change this component number to 3, and also change the default value to 0, 0, like this. So now we have a vector value with 3 components. I want to change the name to velocity direction, and also change the parameter name to PIR. All right, so this is where we want to change our XYZ names right here when we are referencing. So this is how you're gonna change them: dir X, dir Y, and dir Z. Now, dir Z will look at this component, dir Y will look at this component, and X with this component. So this is how it's gonna work. All right, so before hitting apply, I'm gonna go over to parameters, and here in add V, don't forget to create our callback script. So I'm gonna write it again, D within a module dot create V. So now this will look at our function and execute it. So if I hit add V, you see we have add V here, and we have our code and our spec parameter here. if I go over our velocity direction, you see parameters name are drx, dry, drz as we had assigned here. So one thing's left, the scale parameter. So we're gonna go back, type properties, scripts, and for adding the scale load, the structure is the same as here. So we want a one component float with the default value and the naming, etc. So I'm gonna copy it here, and I only want to change the name. So scale, change the name as we have here, and let's call it velocity scale, one component, default value of 1. It's okay. And we have to again append it to our group like we did at our direction. So copy and paste this line and append the scale. We'll apply, accept, create another V, and you see that we have our scale as well. All right, so that's it. We can go over to our next button. Here I'm gonna add another button and call it add the scale. All right, let's go to our scripts, and here I wanna create another function. Let's call it create scale, like so. And all right, so everything is the same. We want to create a battery node. We want to write something. I want to create some parameters and assign them to our node. So I will just copy these two lines again. Only change the name, PS, for example. All right, so our PS node name should be at P scale. And what we want to write in here. So this is our Vex code. So I will say P scale is equal to a ramp, channel ramp. I will call this ramp P scale ramp. And the value that I want to put in for our ramp is assign p.y just for test. And then I want to multiply it by load called scale. And don't forget to put this little guy here. And then we have our Vex code. So I want to assign each one of these values. First one is the channel ramp. The name is P scale. And the second parameter is this channel flow. The name is scale. So for creating the parameters, we have to do all of these steps. So I will just copy and paste them here. All right. So scale is the same. Scale, even the name is the same. So we have our scale here, and it will be appended here. So what we want to change is this direction. I will give it some space so you see how we're gonna create ramp parameters. First, I'm gonna change the name to ramp. And since I've changed this, I will change it in here. And also don't forget to change our node name. See, this is our node name, so I will change it in here as well. And then, so how we're gonna create our ramp? I'm just gonna do it all the time here. So you will type in hou.ramp arm template, and then you're gonna say what's the name of your ramp. And since we have written PSK ramp here, we have to assign this. And then you will say what's the label, PSK ramp. And then you have to define what is the ramp type. So I will say HOU dot ramp harm type. And here you can say dot color or float. I will say float. And here we have our ramp. All right, so now we have our node, our VX code, and our parameters. So I'm gonna hit apply. And here we have to set our callback. I will copy from here. Only we have to change this name, create PS. So hit apply. And here we have our add PScale button. It will create a VX code with the ramp and the scale. So just to check it, I will quickly set up a particle system. Then I'm gonna assign my node here. And you see our ramp is working based on y-axis. So you see how it's responding. Later on, you can clamp it so that it will cover all the way up. I'm not gonna go over it. And you see that our add PScale is actually working. All right, so now let's go and create that blank area that you can type in what kind of attribute you want to pass to your ramp. So I'm gonna go to type properties again, and here we need a string. So I will call it ramp. And then what we want to do is to click this horizontally join next parameter so that we have our text here next to our PScale. So how can we actually use this string in our Python code? So first we have to assign it to something. So I will type in RA, which means ramp attribute, and type in whatever you want. And I will get this string value like so. HOU.PWD, which gives us this node, and then create harm and type in our parameter name. And then we want to cast it to string. So I will say eval as string. Like so, we have assigned this string to our RA. And how actually can we use this RA in our VX code? So if you have worked with strings, you know that when we have a string like this, we want to add a value in between. So I would say this is a value, and I want to add RA right here. So this RA is a value. So I'm gonna do it like this. I will create two quotations. So I will actually separate this from is a value, and then I will hit plus and add RA in between and hit plus again. But don't forget to add this space. And now what is gonna print out is actually this. This RA is a value, and RA will be returned as whatever we have set in here. All right, let's just implement what we've set. So I want to change this add sign p.y or to whatever we have set in here. So I'm gonna delete it and hit two quotations. So now we have this string separated from this string, and in between I want to say plus RA. So now we have our RA added in here. Let's quickly check it. I want to hit apply and accept. Don't forget to fill this part or it will give us an error. So I will say this time change it by age and add PScale. Here we have our PScale. And as you see, we have add some age in here. So if I delete it and add this guy instead, you see, now the result looks the same, but this time the input for our ramp is actually the age. So if I change this direction, I'll redo the simulation, you see, it's changing by age. All right, there you have it, our quick wrangle node. You can add whatever button you want in here and add attribute wrangles that you want. And let me know what other attributes wrangles you use frequently and you want it to be in here. Please leave in comments if you have any question, and don't forget to like us. Thanks for watching. See ya.